So recently I started using this tool. It's called Opus AI, or like Opus Clip, sorry. And I plug in a webinar, and within 2 minutes, it takes the entire thing and breaks it down into all these smaller video clips. And then it ranks them. This is really good on the hook or the value or the salient points that you've made. Like this is a 99. This one maybe is a 85 because the hook wasn't there. That is so helpful because then I get to take these different pieces and push them out into the universe on social media, via email, so that advisors can learn on their own time, right, as they wish, based on what kind of clips they're most interested in, based on the topics, versus just being on the webinar with me. So it's helping me better evangelize my clients' brands because we can push out content so many different ways that are more digestible than just a 1 hour long webinar.
Tuned in to the Money Script Podcast. Today we will share strategies to help you grow your financial literacy and improve your money script. I'll be back with some important announcements. Until then, enjoy the show.
Welcome back to the Money Script Podcast. It's your host, Yohance Harrison. I am so excited to be with each and every one of you today, and I want to say a special thank you to everyone who wrote in to ask about how Alicia's doing. Let's just say she's going to have to take the test one more time. But that's okay. You get 5 times to do it. Diana, I didn't cue you in. I should have told you. Alicia took her CFP. It didn't quite go as planned. However, her scores are getting a lot better. So I told her, hey, it's okay. We just go take it again. Live to play another day. Name that movie. Put it in the notes. If you know it, put it in there. Live to play another day. That wasn't really the voice, but live to play another day. Anyways, I am very excited for my guest today. We have been working on making this podcast happen all of 2024. It was late 2023. We said, hey, let's do it. Okay, we'll do it top of the year. And life just has happened. So without any further ado, Diana Cabrices, welcome to the Money Script Podcast. How are you?
Oh my goodness. Thank you for having me. And thank you for working with me through this entire year to get me here. I'm doing great. It's Friday. I'm excited for the weekend. How are you?
Oh, I'm amazing. It has been a roller coaster week of things happening in just life with Alicia and just, the world. We had I think we had an election this week or something like that.
Something like that.
So I think that kind of dominated the airwaves for a while. I'm so excited that the amount of give me your money text have reduced in my phone because usually I'm the one asking for money. So it was really weird to have all of these. And somehow my number, so I've had the same number for a long time. I get texts from all the parties, all of them.
Goodness.
So apparently I am multi-political affiliated, or they don't care. They just want my money. Maybe it's that. So yeah, I'm glad that the texts have finally calmed down. So that part I'm excited about. But yeah, no, I'm good. So we have to just clear the air on one quick item because, like I said, it took us a while to get here, and the most recent reschedule was because you had narrowly avoided a hurricane because your wonderful travel schedule. You just be like, not going to be home anyway. But then you got home and you got the celebrations. I love that. I didn't know this did the celebrations. But then you got home and things were a little different.
I recently moved to Tampa, Florida. So my fiance and I were living in Denver, Colorado. We moved to Tampa, Florida, and then all these hurricanes started coming. But this last one. So
it's you.
I'm like, I don't know what I did.
Meanwhile, Denver's got 20 inches of snow this weekend. I don't know if you saw that. So
we have, and we're both like, because we do love skiing. And so this would have been a great skiing weekend, but that's okay. We're here and it's sunny and beautiful. So yes, Hurricane Milton, it affected the area tremendously. And I feel terrible for a lot of people because they lost their homes or their homes flooded or they're still dealing with this. I mean, this is just the beginning for a lot of people. And so for us, we got extremely lucky because while we didn't have power for 8 days, we had another place that we could go and stay. And so we were fine. We were safe. Our whole neighborhood, like the entire streets of our neighborhood flooded, and the streets stayed underwater for at least 5 days until it started to recede. And our neighbor told us when we came back, because we didn't even have his number because we just moved here. And he said, I was watching your house like a hawk, and with just
Oh,
one more inch of rain, you would have flooded. The water came all the way up to your door. You would have flooded. So
oh,
we got lucky. I will say the place looks terrible. All the grass died. Like, there's still, people, their fences are down, and there's still homes with boards all over them, because I think some people just left for the season. They're like, deuces, we're getting out of here.
yeah.
But we got lucky, but it was stressful. It was.
It is. And is that your first hurricane experience?
First of its nature, I would say. I lived in Miami in my 20s. Fun time. But I remember then I had to evacuate once. I hopped on a Greyhound, because you're in your 20s, and I was like, I'm not buying a flight home. I don't have money for that. Greyhound was the worst experience ever, but it got me to where I needed to go, and it wasn't even that bad. In Miami, the streets flooded, some places were affected, but this was monumental. I mean, what's interesting, Yohance, is that when I moved to Tampa, everyone kept telling me, oh, you picked the best side of Florida because we never get hit with hurricanes. Multiple people.
Never
And
in
I remember
100 years. That's that whole
in
100-year flood
100
thing.
years.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So you're going to be fine. And we were even looking to buy property in St. Pete, which really got hit hard. And then, yeah, it's just been one after the next. I don't know. I don't know if it's me or not.
I mean, where you left, it's snowing, and where you are was a hurricane. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm gonna need you to stay out of Texas. I know you like to pop up in Texas every now and then. I need you to just give me a heads up so I can be prepared for the extreme weather that likes to follow you.
I do love Texas. I'm like, maybe we should have just moved there.
I mean, we'll still have you, but again, I need warning so that I can make sure that I've secured everything in the backyard. The trampoline is nailed down. I don't want to.
I'll let you know.
I don't want to. Okay.
Yeah, that's like a tornado kind of issue. Yeah.
That is a tornado kind. So where we live in our peninsula, we're in the peninsula of a horseshoe shaped lake, and you can look at the tornado touchdown data online on the US whatever service. In 60 years, no tornado has touched down in the peninsula, but there's been a couple of water spouts that will kind of go across the lake and then kind of dissipate as soon as it hits the peninsula. However, they were just testing the tornado sirens 2 days ago.
Oh, okay.
So, I mean, that we've had one time where we had to, it was so funny. So Alicia and Amira, my mother-in-law, are having a dance party. It was weird. She's cooking and the music's on, and I'm up here on the third floor doing meetings, and it's getting really dark and ominous outside. And I'm like, okay. And I'm getting the alerts on my phone. And then finally the alert pops up. I had the weather channel up while I was in my session. It's turned the tornado watch and tornado warning, which means tornado has been spotted nearby. And the sirens weren't going off yet, but then within maybe about 15-20 seconds, I hear them. So I tell the client, got to go, rush downstairs, music's going, food's on the stove. They're just having a great time. And I'm like, do y'all have any idea what's going on outside?
The tornado warning.
What? It's a storm or something? Like, no, we're in a tornado warning. Everyone get to the bathroom, get to the closet right now. We have one closet and bathroom that doesn't have any exterior walls. So that's what we did. And we stayed in there for about 15 minutes. And it's like, you guys come on. I was like, we're in Texas. These things happen. And then, of course, my wife said, I thought you said a tornado's never come into the peninsula. I was like, it hasn't.
Right.
In 60 years.
Yeah, in 60 years.
So
I don't know what's scarier. I don't know if, I don't think I've ever dealt with a tornado. And so I'm like, it seems really scary because they can get really powerful and they just can zip through. Whereas a hurricane, it's we know it's coming. You got a week to chill out, buy your stuff, some alcohol, hunker down. I don't know what's scarier, but
I take out of all of the natural disasters, if I could choose one, not that I'm saying it's a good thing, but if I could choose one to have to deal with, it is hurricanes, because we get some warning. I lived in California for a while, and All of a sudden the ground starts shaking. I was like, this is not for me.
No.
They're like, oh, you didn't get the warning? I was like, what, the one that came while it was happening? What kind of warning is that? That's not a warning. I feel it already. You tell me there's an earthquake. Tornadoes, I think the scariest thing about tornadoes is the ones that happen in the middle of the night. Because you can't really see them coming. At least in the daytime, you can kind of see that something's brewing. You can see the low clouds, the really dark clouds, etc. It's like, okay, it's going to be a little crazy out there. But when you're sleeping in the middle of the night, those are the ones that aren't for me. So look at us, just two humans talking about weather. This is what humans do. They're just like talking about, we went on a whole hurricane, tornado, earthquake tangent. So let's talk about Diana Cabrices Consulting. Before we go there, if this is your first time joining us for the Money Script podcast and you made it all the way through that share of information, somebody really loves you because they said, hey, you got to check out this podcast. And you're like, well, when are they going to talk about money? And we are going to talk about money today, but not really in the sense of just the money in your wallet. Diana is one of my favorite people on the planet, full of energy, a wealth of knowledge, very inspiring, and also in tiny bite sizes. And I mean that because she's like, well, I'm 6'5", so everyone seems short to me, but Diana is extra short. We took a photo together and I looked at it, I was like, that just looks weird. I'm not going to post that one because
selfie.
It just looks so awkward. Like we have to do it from a different angle. That one was too far away. Because I looked like a giant. I was like, well, I look like I'm 8 feet tall. I'll send it to you later. I think it's still on my phone.
Please do. I gotta
yeah. It looks like I'm standing with a third grader. It just does. It's weird. Anyways, this is the Money Script podcast. And like I said, I'm just going to be a fanboy. I want to talk to Diana a little bit more, hear more about her journey, her story. So you are the founder of Diana Cabrices Consulting, and you are a fractional chief evangelist. So I have to ask, you made that one up, right?
I did make up the fractional side of it.
The fraction. Oh, so chief evangelist is a thing? Oh, okay.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I thought this whole time, I thought you were the first. I was like, that is so dope that she thought of that. That's awesome. I gave you all the credit for it, but okay. I have to stop telling people that, but go ahead.
Oh, that's so sweet. So no, I did not create the chief evangelist term. If you're familiar with Guy Kawasaki, he was the chief evangelist for Apple for many years. And it really started to pick up in the 90s in the tech space. And it's kind of had its, periods of, all right, everybody wants to do this, to you don't really hear about it anymore. But he's held pretty strong. He's now the chief evangelist at Canva. And I even learned of the term because one weekend I had a boss and he was like, hey, just go research what it is you really love to do and build a role around it. And that's what I did. And I was like, what is this role? I love talking. I love going to speak on stages. They put me to do all the demos. I do all the webinars. And I came across this 4-part article series where there was a man, his name's Ethan Butte. He's actually been my mentor through my business, especially in the early days. And he was really passionate about teaching the world, what does this role mean in the tech space? What is a chief evangelist? And I just basically decided I'm going to do this, but I'm not going to do it just for one company at a time. I'm a big fan of not putting all your eggs in one company basket. And so I said, I'm going to do this for multiple companies at once. And I learned about the whole fractional movement. You've probably heard of a fractional CMO or a fractional CFO. But I thought, all right, well, I'm going to do this whole fractional chief evangelist thing and see if it takes off. It's different because a lot of people, they've said to me, oh, so that's just like a brand ambassador. And yes, it is like a brand ambassador. But to me, brand ambassadors don't really integrate into the business as deeply as an outsourced chief evangelist does. So I didn't want to just say I'm a brand ambassador. There's nothing wrong with being a brand ambassador, but I felt this was bigger. I felt this was deeper, and it was exclusive to technology. Brand ambassadors are across really any industry out there. And so, yeah, I kind of coined the outsourced fractional chief evangelist thing.
So how do the companies that you chief evangelist for, how do they cope with not having 100% of you? How is it that you're able to have this fractional role with multiple organizations? I mean, aren't they fighting over you?
There's definitely been interesting periods of time where I'm I have had to decide, do I want to partner here? Do I want to partner there? And in a perfect world, I'd do both, but I'm only one person and I don't want to spread myself too thin. Also, you can't dilute your efforts. If I'm doing it for 10 companies at once, then it's like, okay, I really can only do it for about 2, maybe 3 companies at once if I'm feeling good. Actually, you'd be surprised. Most companies are very happy to not have to pay a 6-figure salary because, in my opinion, a full-time chief evangelist, they're at that level. They're at that executive level or senior leadership level. If you're going to have a star speaker on the front lines of your company, a dynamic person who's traveling all over the country all the time, who's speaking all the time, who's doing press opportunities, who's writing content, really creating thought leadership and also amplifying existing thought leadership in the business, then they need to be paid a 6-figure salary. So actually, it's better for these companies. It's better for me too. I almost like hedge my risk a little bit here, if you will, or
Sure.
in that, if something happens, if markets change or budgets change, it's usually the marketing team that gets cuts first. And this role does live within the marketing department. So I haven't found as much of a challenge as I thought. And again, as long as I don't go out and do it for too many people at once, I don't dilute the voice and, the efforts are still there. It still feels like I'm very much full time. And at the same time, they get to, have more budget for other things in the business.
So like you, I do a lot of public speaking, and the circles that I do my public speaking are with advisors. So I'm usually speaking to other advisors about how to improve their business. My key talks are around behavioral financial advice, referral marketing, and estate planning. As a matter of fact, shameless plug, we just did a show with Encore Estate Planning and Nitrogen. It's out wherever you get your LinkedIn.
I saw it today. Good job.
You did? Oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
It was good. We had fun on that. Oh man, I had a lot of fun on that one. So I'm curious. First, I want to ask, can you share with our audience, because a lot of them are advisors that I meet out there, and some of you are trying to start your first podcast. This is me talking to you saying, start. Can you share with us some of the companies that you are currently working with?
Yeah, I'd love to. I always love the opportunity to plug my clients as well. So I work with a company called WealthTech. We're a find and advisor directory. You have heard of them. Yeah. And we help advisors get found faster, great SEO, beautiful profiles where we bring in testimonials. As you know, that's now allowed in the advisor marketing space. And so WealthTech was truly the first SEC compliant online financial advisor reviews platform. We give you media opportunities. There's a lot of things going on there. Essential digital marketing. So that's one of my clients. I just recently partnered with Trust and Will, which I'm super excited about. Yeah. And that has been such a fun ride because we're doing so many cool things, and I get really excited about all the things that we're doing. They're also in the estate planning space. So like you, I'm very passionate about, kind of helping advisors grow more comfortable with even talking about estate planning or incorporating it into their service model, or making sure all their clients are protected, I think is really important, and they have a role there. And then I do some community work with a small private advisor community called the AGC.
I think I've heard of them too.
You've heard of it too, and you're an amazing member. And I love what I get to do there because it's different. It's not my normal client base is just going to be WealthTech, FinTech, serving advisors. This is a community. So there's not it's not like the same kind of workflows or even structure or organization. We're a really small leadership team, but I have fun because I get to get exposure to all the advisors. What kind of questions are they asking? What kind of help do they need? And so that's been a unique way of almost challenging my business because I have to think differently when I work with the AGC versus when I work with these technology companies. So that's my main platter right now. I'll do side projects here and there. I just did some videos with white charts and had a great time. I have done work with Nitrogen. I did some videos for them as well for their marketing center. I'll do some MC work here and there. I love to go out and speak. I worked with Wealthbox in the past, White Glove. So it's been, I'm going on 2 years now since I've launched the business. So not, every client stays with me, and that's okay because it's fractional. That's kind of part of the whole thing. But like a WealthTech, for example, he's pretty much been with me since the very beginning, and such a
Shout
founder.
out to Brian. Yeah.
Stopped Brian.
Yeah. No, so full disclosure, I'm a Wealth Tender member. I'm an AGC member. So Trust and Will, we got off to a bumpy start a few years ago, but thanks to Diana, she found me at what show was that? Future Proof. She found me at Future Proof. I said, "Oh, you're repping Trust and Will," and I've been an Encore State guy, and Trust and Will. Like I said, we kind of got off to a bumpy start. And she said, "Let me work on that for you," and sure enough, she did. Within 24 hours, I got my question answered, and I am slowly bringing Trust and Will back to one of my core offerings, because I believe that clients deserve to have a conversation with their advisor about estate planning. Mm-hmm. And that advisor gets to have a set of tools that he can offer to the client. And just like I'm not loyal to any one mutual fund, or I only use mutual funds, ETF. I'm not. There's lots of them out there. So will this help my client reach their goals? So I feel the same way about Vanilla and White Glove and Trust and Will and Encore. Shout out to all of you for filling this need.
Seriously.
So I counted yesterday, Diana. We have started 112 estate plans for clients in the past 2 years.
Wow.
112.
That's amazing.
Of those 112, 105 had never done an estate plan before.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's 105 more Americans that are going to be so thankful for you in the future. I mean, they're thankful now, but just even
goodness. I think about the lasting effect. Even if those clients choose to not be my client anymore and I'm not their asset manager, financial advisor, at least they have that.
Yep.
And the odds are, without the help of a financial advisor, they'll never update it. Mm-hmm. Those are the odds. They will never update it, which isn't the way it should be. Mm-hmm. But to know that it exists, and it may exist for the next 20, 30, 40 years. Mm-hmm. I've been in situations where it's not there. So again, to all of those in the tech space that are coming up with these solutions, keep them coming, and thank you. And thank you, Diana, for being the loudspeaker and choosing a Trust and Will as one of the companies that you're a loudspeaker for. So yes, I appreciate it. I told you I was going to fanboy here a little bit. So speaking of fanboy, there's a little bit of information in your bio that I did not know.
Okay.
Your years at Snappy Kraken.
Yeah.
This is pretty impressive. Excuse me. I helped 10x recurring revenue in 3 years. Now, first of all, you're welcome, because I was part of that. If it weren't for you, I wouldn't know who Snappy Kraken was.
Oh my God.
Okay? So it was Brittany Castro that introduced me to you, that introduced me to Snappy Kraken. There we go. Mm-hmm. I became a client and still am today. Yeah. Yes, clients. Snappy Kraken I'm not that good. I'm not. I don't write all those articles. I don't. They ghostwrite them. I add a few things at the beginning. You can tell what I've said. If you look at it closely, you can tell what I've said and what the ghostwriter said. But I love it because it's timely articles. Mm-hmm. I can set it and forget it, especially for my thousands of prospects that are on my mailing list. Do you know how many of those prospects just pop through every now and then and say, "Hey, I scheduled some time." And I'm like, "Who are you?" So awesome. And I go back and like, "Oh, you're my number one reader at Snappy Kraken." Yeah. So I want to talk a little bit about just a company like Snappy Kraken, but really as it speaks to the impact of AI on the advisor space and how that's really going to help more advisors, help more clients. So can you share a little bit about your experience in that space?
Absolutely. So I loved my time at Snappy Kraken because it shaped who I am today in so many ways. Every single person that worked at Snappy Kraken when I worked there, and still today, certainly, but they're all geniuses. I mean, the best writers, the best designers, the best product creators, marketers. I mean, everybody's just genius. And I learned so much. And, when I was there, we didn't quite have an AI product in place, but I know that's changed today. They have some really cool AI capabilities.
I just used it. It was pretty cool. I was like, okay. It's the AI, so I had to tweak it a little bit, but still,
sure, yeah.
What it was able to do in a matter of seconds.
Oh, I love that. And I'm glad that they, immediately rushed into that because, AI is moving so quickly. So when I was there, though, we were sticking to all the fundamentals, right? Like if you're not emailing your clients and your prospects, and not just emailing, right? That let's remove that word. If you're not communicating, if you're not staying in touch, if you're not letting people know I'm thinking of you, even if it's automated, it's still a way of letting them know I'm thinking of you, because you're actively creating these campaigns and making sure they're scheduled and set and published. That's important. So we stuck to the fundamentals. Keep it simple, keep it conversational, keep it humanized.
Love the conversation. Yes. Very humanized.
And that's what
Yes.
people love. That's what people respond
Mm-hmm.
to. The thing about Snappy Kraken is, you have to ask yourself, like, what are meaningful results to you? And a lot of the times I would just have advisors tell me, well, I just get so many responses. Even if you're not getting meetings booked, if you're just getting responses, that alone is engagement. And that is what I think Snappy Kraken does so well, is just creating ongoing engagement with clients and prospects.
I doubled when I moved to Snappy Kraken. My open rate doubled.
Yeah, I remember.
And I was already doing pretty good. I was hovering around 33%.
Yeah.
It went to 66%. I just looked at the last email, 79% open rate. I was like, what?
That's amazing.
I was like, these people, who are these people? I was like, oh, you're my clients. Okay. Well, but still, I wasn't getting that from, yes, I'm going to throw them under the bus, MailChimp. Wasn't.
Goodness.
And the other thing is, MailChimp is not a financial advisor driven platform.
No.
And that's the thing. They're being everything to everyone.
Yes.
So Snappy Kraken, that's what I love. That's fine for everyone. Yeah. It's not fine for me. Yep. So that's what I really enjoyed about Snappy Kraken. And yes, the emails are so conversational. So where do you see AI fitting in with the role that you do in some of the companies that you're working with? I mean, if you were, like you said, it's happening so fast, but if you had the crystal ball and you could look out the next 12 to 24 months, what are some of the big impacts you think that AI is going to have?
Yeah. So I'll share with you a little bit how I'm using AI to better serve my clients, and then where I see some maybe shifts happening in the future that I'm frankly, some I'm excited about and some I'm maybe not that excited about. So Today I use AI in my business. Let's just say, for example, I do a lot of speaking for myself, my own brand, but also on behalf of my clients, and we do lots of webinars. You probably see me promoting my webinars online all the time. And I like webinars because it's a way to more, deeply connect with an advisor audience than just writing a blog post and shipping it out. With these webinars, though, there's a lot to take in. There's a lot of different points, takeaways, action items. It can be overwhelming. So recently I started using this tool. It's called Opus AI, or like Opus Clip, sorry. And I plug in a webinar, and within 2 minutes, it takes the entire thing and breaks it down into all these smaller video clips. And then it ranks them. This is really good on the hook or the value or the salient points that you've made. Like this is a 99. This one maybe is a 85 because the hook wasn't there. That is so helpful, because then I get to take these different pieces and push them out into the universe on social media, via email, so that advisors can learn on their own time, right, as they wish, based on what kind of clips they're most interested in, based on the topics, versus just being on the webinar with me. So it's helping me better evangelize my clients' brands, because we can push out content in so many different ways that are more digestible than just a 1 hour long webinar. So that's one way I'm using. I'm also, obviously I use, things like ChatGPT to help me better, write. Some days I can't think, I'm exhausted, I'm managing multiple brands, and I just need something to give me a little spark, and then I run with it. Yeah. Now, some trends that I'm seeing that are interesting, just being a brand evangelist. One of the biggest value adds and one of my value props of my own business is I exist to energize and humanize your marketing, because a blog post is great, but you need to make that come to life. And that's what a good dynamic speaker can do, a good person. And that's kind of what I step in and do. What interesting I'm seeing is these AI, basically versions of yourself where it's an AI speaker.
Oh, yeah, I don't like that. Yeah.
Not a fan. But I don't think I'll ever get replaced by that.
So I'm going to date myself here, but do you remember the movie, was it called Duplicity? Michael Keaton?
I don't think I knew that one.
Okay. So I may have the name wrong, but there's this movie. Check it out on your own time, on your lovely weekend.
Okay.
Michael Keaton, where he makes a clone of himself. And basically, the moral is every clone gets a little dumber.
Mm.
So when I think about an AI clone of myself, it's like,
No.
Ain't nothing like the real thing, baby.
Yeah, that's right. That's
Okay.
right. Yes.
Okay. Because
So,
my AI, it's not going to, no. Sorry.
no.
Yes, I'm grossed out by that one too. Thank you for sharing. And
that's some of what I've seen. And I've seen certain tech companies in our space use it. And I'm just like, oh no, don't. I'm not. That's not engaging.
I mean, okay, actually, you know what? But I just thought about something. There is a place where that could work. And if, for instance, if it was just you know how when you go to a new website or when your website gets an update and they're like, hey, check out everything that's new. And it's like, click over here, click over here, click over here. If that was my AI bot just doing that, sure.
Yep.
Because it's only going to have a set number of responses. It's not something you're going to engage with. But the idea of having my AI like even do this podcast interview or to just give my clients an update on what's going on. No. It needs me, my real reactions. It needs me to mess up. It needs all. No. No.
Time and place, right?
Yeah.
But the end goal is that there's a human there, and that is always helpful. Just know where to put it.
I like humans.
Yeah, me too.
And being human.
Yeah. I'll add one more thing here. I think I just spoke at Advise AI that was hosted in October in Vegas. That was actually during Milton. I went to Vegas. Yeah. And it was interesting. I saw so many new AI tools for advisors. Starting to see a little bit more and more of like the note-taking tools, and that's really cool, but some of them are going even deeper, really embedded into the CRM and to some of your other tools.
I have one of them. I just signed up with one and I'm loving it so far. I chose Jump AI.
Yeah. Big fan.
It's incredible. It's changing my life.
Yes, I like them a lot. I like Vegaminds a lot. I've seen what they're doing as well.
I saw theirs too. I wasn't as pleased with their WealthBox integration. I felt Jump AI really had it dialed in on the WealthBox integration down to workflows, tasks, and updating content on WealthBox. That's the one that really got me. I was like, this is compliance in a box right here. Yes. The client said it out loud. Great. Make sure it's documented. Because that's the hardest thing sometimes, fingers trying to take all these notes in the meeting. And even when it was recorded, it's like, yeah, but compliance wants to see that you extracted that data and you recorded it somewhere.
Yep.
You
got a hard job with that. I've seen interesting, there's one called Lemonade LXP. And basically AI, like if you have a tech stack and you grow your business and you add more advisors to your business, this is really applicable to any business, but in your case, then Lemonade LXP can basically in just 10 seconds create these incredible resources, training videos, quizzes, like gamification around your tech stack so that new advisors who join your firm can absorb it.
Ooh, that's interesting. Okay.
So cool. So there's a lot going on. It's, we could talk about this in 6 weeks and we'd have probably more of a different conversation.
Probably will.
Always something.
But it has to be a human. We can't have our AIs have the conversation for us.
It's us.
Okay.
Me and you.
Us. Okay. So speaking of humans, we like to ask all of our guests about one human experience. And the human experience that we would like to know about from you, Diana, is what is your first memory of money?
Okay. Negative or positive?
It's your first memory. It's yours.
Anytime I think about money memories, I just go back to, well, obviously childhood, but my mom, she is a warrior and she raised me and my sisters on her own. My father passed away. And I just always remember there was like this stress around the school photos. And because my mom made sure that I looked great for my school photos. I mean, we curled my hair, we did it all. And then I remember there was a stress around if we could even buy the school photos. You get the little prints back and it's like,
And
You
it
know,
has the proof written across it or something.
oh,
Yeah.
we kept that, but I don't know why. I just always go back to that because I remember like being driven to school. She's like, I'm gonna try to come later with $20 to get the pictures. Don't forget. I'll let you know. I'm like, and I think maybe sometimes she made it, sometimes not, but almost always she like tried her best. And that I remember those things. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's beautiful. That is
Yeah.
beautiful. I love that. I love that. Well, thank you, Diana, for spending some time on the Money Script podcast. We did not get interrupted by any weather, which is good. There is a storm brewing in the Gulf of Mexico, though, but I doubt it's going to make its way up to the Texas area. I don't think, I mean, you guys, I think might get some rain there in Florida. That's about it, but it shouldn't be too bad. So hopefully you've made it through the hurricane season for 2024. And we'll see if Tampa is able to keep you around for 2025. See if it didn't scare you off or not. On the other side, don't want to say it this way, but I'll just say it. You might find some good real estate deals soon.
I know. My fiance, who's also an advisor, said the exact same thing.
Hey, I like him already.
Yep.
So, there's that. There is that.
I like a good deal, so
there you go. There you go. No, it's not about profiting off of someone else's pain. It's just a good deal.
Yeah.
It's the market. That's it. It's the market. So,
thank you for having me.
Thank you. Thank you. So to everyone out there that joined us today, we appreciate you. I want to remind you to set some time aside and have a little money date with yourself or have a money date with your spouse and talk about your finances. Ask your spouse what their first memory of money is. Bonus points, those that have children, ask your children what their first memory of money is, because guess what? You probably have a lot to do with it. And whether good, bad, or indifferent, no matter what it is, it's a memory. It's already there. It's probably a core memory. It's there already. But use that information to think about the next teachable moment that you can have with your loved one, whether it's the spouse or the child, especially around what some of their memories are of how they're wired with their relationship with money. So, and again, as I always say, well, not always, I just started always saying it. So now I will always say, share this podcast with one person. Yeah, that person you just thought of, share with them. Just whatever app you're listening in, hit the little button where it says share or the arrow pointing out, go to your messages, type in their name, and hit send. And now go and send them a message so they know why you sent it to them. Say, hey, I heard this great podcast with two awesome people, and I thought you might like to learn about what a Chief Evangelist is, because I just learned, and I learned. You said it, you were, how did you say? Evangelizing? Did you say evangelizing?
Evangelizing, yeah.
I learned a new word, evangelizing, and I can't wait to use it outside of this podcast. So with that, we will see you next time on the Money Script podcast. Everybody take care.
I'm back. Wasn't that a great show? I hope you learned something. I know I did. Now, before you go trying anything you heard today, remember, it is not intended to be specific tax or legal advice. If you need that, go see a CPA or an attorney. If you would like any complimentary consultation with a knowledgeable advisor, visit moneyscript.com and schedule a 15-minute consultation. Want Yohance to come speak at your next event? Go to the Money Script website for that too. Of course, if you're watching on YouTube, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and click the bell for notifications. MoneyScript Wealth Management is a registered financial advisory service in multiple states. Want to learn more? Get the full disclosure on our website, moneyscript.com.